sympathy, right? Oh, this looks like we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Old Gray Brick's Messy Monday, and it has been quite a messy Monday. I think everybody before the show is talking about how this Monday has been, and so Super Monday welcome and greetings to you all. But guess what? Tomorrow is Tuesday, which is also known as the second Monday of the week. So I
have a feeling that Wednesday is going to be the third Monday of this week.
I think they're all
my prophecy so far.
I think it's just Mondays. I mean, they're all Mondays.
No,
and so
Wednesdays when we turn in grades, and then we don't care about anything for at least 48 hours.
Matthew, the professor, will start. Well, you going to start summer break on Thursday? Is that right? Wednesday afternoon.
No, Wednesday at 10:01 is when the break starts.
That sounds awesome. So, are you going to go buy brick and you're going to celebrate at the Lego store and things?
So, I will not disclose the amount that was expended, but there were 5 Lego and Bricklink orders placed on Saturday to build the Jetsons inspired skyscraper. So already 2 of those packages have shipped. So
nice.
It's gonna be coming.
Nice.
So for StreamYard, if you pick your avatar, does it stay that way all the time?
Until you fix it. Yeah.
Until you fix it. So I'm wondering, Julian, have you been running with the Chris avatar this whole time?
Yeah.
Nice. Because I know you had a show on Saturday and Sunday, so I'm sure that came up at least once.
Yes.
And Friday.
I was in one of them, and yes,
right, Friday.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh man, let's just fly around the room and see what's up with everybody. Oh, we got Brom has been in the chat since 6:37.
Hey, Brom,
glad he's here
today.
Oh, you got a Brom brick? No way.
And I got the bear inscribed one.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah. So, take advantage of the Brom engraving.
You know what? I know you posted that link last week, but I think we need to post that again because now I'm feeling keychain envy.
Yeah.
Because I already have one.
If it dangles, you need one.
I have one.
Good word there. Dangle. See, I would have to get the space logo like Chris because,
This can replace our Hinkle moment. We can do our Brom moment. Okay, Brom.
Brom moment.
Oh, there he just put a link in the chat there. He so go there and buy one of those. And
Brom, you don't want to know what the bear is for. Let's just leave that alone.
Matthew, I am glad you said Bram because it was like a long time before he said it's really Brom. Because I'm all, hey Bram, how you doing, buddy? It's Brom. We also have Tony Lombardi is in the chat. How you doing? That's from our lug. Good to see you, our friends there. Triple D Honey is here. Brom's here. Andrew Sada is here. Matt Robbins is here. So thank you all for joining us tonight. We're just hanging out today. Let's go around the room and see what we got. Let's start with Rich. Man, what you got going on? I saw you moving towers and everything. So what's up?
I got myself some more things to stack here and there today. And then over the weekend, we hooked up with a friend of ours who was not able to sell stuff at the Wamalug meeting. And so we bought it all.
Oh, wow. What are those round things?
That's
Those
big
are
brick
containers.
out, and we just took it off the stand.
Wow, that's cool.
It looks like chocolates if you move the camera fast enough.
Right.
Yeah. That's beautiful stuff.
Those are neat containers.
Yeah, they're kind of nice.
It kind of looks like giant Reese's peanut butter cups.
Well, they're Talenti gelato ice cream cones.
Ooh, so they are delicious to begin
They
with.
probably are. That looks like a delicious blueberry gelato right there.
Somebody had a lot of gelato, so
Yeah. So he got them from somebody's wife who went to Legoland Orlando and went to the Pick a Brick Wall and just bought stuff, and then she got sick and died. I think.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, I think that's what the case is. And then my friend got this, And he's like, well, I'll, see what I can do with it. And then he's like going back to the ice because he works. This is the last time he's going to go back to the ice, but he's going back to Antarctica to do firework. Some of you may know him. He's Art Gordon. And he's going back to the ice. He's like, I don't want to store this anymore. Please, somebody buy it all. So we did.
Wow. It also looks like a giant thing of M&Ms. I don't know. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's mostly sorted and lovely, and I'm happy with it. And we gave him a fair price.
That's good.
And if you use those for storage, you can rationalize all of your gelato purchases by like, I'm buying this to store Lego.
That's quite a lot of gelato.
Yeah, I don't think it came from him. I think it's what he got it as. After the way he pricked.
Gotcha. All right, let's go to Maddie.
I don't know. Who knows?
What? Okay, cool.
I said, am I thinking about opening a brickling store? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I see you got your Brick Fair Virginia space shirt on. Are you going to Brick Fair Virginia?
Yes, it will happen.
Nice.
It is happening.
Currently, it is displayer only, not a public show. So,
but that's okay for me. That's okay. I know for some people it's not okay, but the rules could relax and we could get all kinds of people to come. So
I would be okay. That would be like old school, George Madison, whatever.
Someone may have said it would be like a giant Lego meeting, and I was like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So is it going to still be like 4 days?
Yes. We're going to show up Friday, and we're going to probably do the meet and greet on Friday night. And hopefully Bob O's will be open at the Holiday Inn, and we'll do the meet and greet there. And we'll be there Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and maybe Sunday. Who knows?
It starts Tuesday?
Hey, Mr.
Registration sign-in is Wednesday morning.
Oh, okay.
At noon. Well,
Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's see. Magnus. Let's go to Magnus. Magnus, what is up in your world, man? Are you going to Brick Fair Virginia? Oops, I hit the wrong button.
Oh.
Crying out loud.
Boy, Magnus looks different.
Yeah. Magnus. Excellent chicken. There we are. There's the button right there. What's up, man?
I'm pretty good. I have registered for Brick Fair Virginia. I haven't paid yet. I figure I'll pay a little closer then when I continue to feel like it seems like a somewhat reasonable thing to hopefully do. Yeah, we'll just have to see, really. I mean, yeah. I haven't been building. Well, did you have a question?
Oh, no, go ahead.
I haven't been building a lot of stuff very recently, but I did bring down a couple of planes from my ceiling to show off at a different video. If you want, I can show them off here, or at least one of them. I don't know.
Sure.
Let's see. This one is often one of the crowd pleasers.
Ooh.
Right? Before already? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So this is my Cobra Night Raven, which I've kind of done in a stealthy version with the missiles hanging like on the inside. Like I've got these weapons. It's got the weapons hanging in front of
so good.
that. And it's got some other cool stuff. It's got like so the landing gear goes in like that.
If you change the canopy, does it become an SR-71?
It does not.
Okay.
It also doesn't transform into Jetfire.
That is not the right Jetfire. By the way, Brick Smith. Oh, he already left. Brick Smith's headed out, y'all. Good to have. He had dad stuff to do, so Brick Smith had to head out early. So
let's see. That's a cockpit that comes down.
Yeah, that's a compliment right there. It does look like the original toy. So right now, Gil is like, I gotta hurry on the internet because that's calling his name.
It's got these little missiles in the back, like in the Firefox movie.
Nice.
In case you need to shoot anyone who's chasing you. And my favorite feature, it's got things like air brakes. maybe little air brakes that pop up to slow you down. Here's a little drone that flies away. And then my favorite part is it's got engine.
Ooh,
That's beast mode good right there,
But
man.
all the other features weren't cool enough.
yeah,
It's got
that's just.
like-
I mean, that's just bragging right there.
yeah.
What about, could it be the Clint Eastwood movie Firefox?
Yeah,
Only
I
if
mean,
you think about it in Russian.
based on the
Yes.
on a toy that was
Think in
inspired
Russian.
partially by the Firefox, I think.
That's a good use of the Ninjago windscreen too. That's awesome, Magnus.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's great.
Yeah, is that Nexonites? Those came in too. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of the perfect fit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, that was definitely a Ninjago windscreen, definitely a Nexonites windscreen versus a Ninjago windscreen. But
Yeah.
Did I say Ninjago or Nexonites?
you said Ninjago.
I meant Nexonites. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm a little out of it.
I was
That's
like,
right.
maybe they also put it in some Ninjago sets. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
It could
Yeah,
happen.
I still remember the end of that movie with Clint Eastwood fine, and he's got to hit the rear defense pods like you had pop up, and yeah, then he had to think in Russian, and he just hit it, and the thing blew up. And the
Yeah, I
best
had
part,
to think
do
in
you
Russian.
remember the video game? Do you remember the Laserdisc video game to Firefox in the arcades?
I'm not familiar with it.
I'm
it
not
was-
familiar either.
I remember it. It was really glitchy, and it was really whatever. But yeah, it just had cut scenes from the movie on the Laserdisc and everything. It was pretty fun. It ate quarters like crazy. So all right. Let's go to Maddie. Maddie, what's up in your world?
Hey,
Maddie, are you okay?
yeah,
You look-
I'm tired. Today.
hey. Huh?
I'm tired today again.
Yeah, you sound like you're a few quarts low.
You need some Mountain Dew.
I know, really. I need
And
some
some pop
M&Ms
rocks.
from the vending machine. Oh, my
That's some dry
duster!
blueberries.
You can see my duster. Yeah, we upgraded from a paintbrush to a duster.
Oh.
That was your
Oh.
Tweety Bird tail.
Oh yeah, yeah, because he's scary. But I'm working on a project because in my live stream last night, I had on my shelf this box, and in the box, we keep tampons in the box. And someone was like, "Oh my god!
Well,
Like,
come
what is
on.
that? Like, what the heck?"
I'm gonna go with TMI.
So I was like, okay, like, well, maybe we can make it a little cuter. You're right. So we're working on that. Anyways, that's it.
Thank you for showing us your personal hygiene storage on the show with a bunch of old dudes on it. What?
I know, right?
Next up, Maddie shows us her toothbrush holder.
Oh, yeah.
Should have gone with that one first. I'm just saying.
Yeah, sorry.
So, Maddie? What is your next art project? I've been enjoying your art builds of late. What is your?
Well, I was in a very boring gallery on Mother's Day. So I'm still trying to craft and draft the table of fruit and vegetables. That will be the next one when we get there.
Is it a Dutch Masters like fruit and
Yeah.
vegetable?
Exactly. And there's a lobster in this picture, and I just found a lobster piece, so it's going to be great.
Is it going to be the girl with the pearl earring?
No. It's going to be a table full of food, dude.
Okay.
Is it going to be one of those that actually it looks nice, but then as you start examining it, the fruit is actually rotting a little, and there's decay, and it's from some of the Dutch Protestant whatever, they're putting their beliefs into that nature is breaking down and some of that kind of stuff. It's kind of neat.
Can we stop?
That is
Chris,
kind
now?
of neat.
The original sin of fresh fruit.
That's right. What did you say, Dana?
Oh.
Nothing.
Are you making fun of that I know something about art? I read a book once. Come on.
I'm not making fun of you knowing art. No, not at all.
We're
How is
making
art, by
fun
the
of
way?
you
Is he
because
a neighbor down the street?
when Georgia Tech graduates talk about art, the rest of us wince.
I had to take art history and architectural history at Tech, and in seminary we did some art history a little bit too, looking at religion and art and everything. So
It sounds like you have.
Was it religion and art or art and religion?
some of each.
Did you read Francis Schaeffer's critique of art?
Oh, I had to watch like videos of Francis Schaeffer. And I'm like, the only thing cool about it was his beard because it's boring and long and it was a class that I take at like 6 to 8 at night. So I'm like, I just had dinner and I'm in a theater and I'm falling asleep and it was hard. Dr. Bush taught that class in seminary. And then I took architectural history at Tech. It was at 8 in the morning in a theater in the winter. So it was warm and it was cozy. And she was mad at us for all falling asleep when she's talked about slide after slide after slide. And it's terrible.
I took Western History of Art Part 1 right after lunch in a dark room with a slideshow. And I kept doing this the whole class. Like, wake up, wake up.
Right. There was not enough Mountain Dew to get through architectural history. 3/4 of architectural history. That was awful. All right. So let's see. Jeff, what's up in Jeff's world today? How you doing, man?
If you follow me on Instagram at Jeff McElwee or just Jeff, JU5T_Jeff. I'm putting on my Batmobile a lot.
Yes, I like the Batmobile.
This is not the greatest car in the world. It's just a tribute. So,
Nice Tenacious D reference.
Nice.
I just wanted to make something that would be maybe nowadays like, and I've been building the Speed Champions all weekend, so I was like, I'm going to build Batmobile in Speed Champions format, so I did.
I like it.
Mark the calendar. I have completed 2 mocks this week.
What?
Let alone 1 mock, but 2. So you all,
And it's only
remember
Tuesday.
that game,
Monday.
Turtles in Time or Ninja Turtles, the arcade game?
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, so I completed Donatello's skiff after like 6 months.
Hey, but you finished it though. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So that was cool. Also, for those of you that know Kevin Hinkle, he and I have been working together to create something kind of magical, and I'd like to share that with some of you all now. This is your first look at Kevin Hinkle's original artwork for the comic Resolve that we're writing.
Wait, should we have a dramatic pause?
Sure.
You should do your Hinkle moment.
There we go. All right, dramatic pause. There we go. Very cool.
Alrighty, so this is a close-up of one of the characters named Arlok, who's a gargoyle. Arlok is the only gargoyle that carries a hammer, as it is the hammer of compassion. Does he
beat you into loving others?
No. It gives him the ability to de-escalate
Nice.
certain situations before he has to drop the hammer, as it were. Gargoyles are not allowed to use hammers in general. This is a holy relic to them, and Arlok is the champion of the gargoyles. Most of the gargoyles will be using these claws. Once again, not a smashing weapon, but a slashing weapon, as well as bows. So I went with the Celtic designs for life, for the tree of life, and the I can't remember the name of it, but it also means rebirth and renew and everything else. So that way it's a message of peace rather than of anger.
Cool.
Can we get the hammer of compassion in the chat when fights break out?
Yes. And so these were Kevin's preliminary sketches of what he and I talked about for gargoyles. And then we decided that we needed to make it more bestial, more gargoyles-ish from the cartoon in the 90s. So we did that without copywriting claim and like copying those people's work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These are his colorized versions of gargoyles that we will have. Yeah. So pretty cool. You know, they're all going to have fancy capes, and their wings will, of course, form capes because that's a great trope. This is all of it that we worked on, and this is one page. One second, sorry. So that's how the dark gargoyles, of course, will work. If you're a fan of fantasy, then you know like elves are sort of the protectors of the realm or whatever, and that's what the gargoyles will be taking the place of. It will be protectors, things like that. But of course, there's also dark gargoyles because there's dark elves, yada shmada, conflict, blah blah blah. And this guy down here is our hero, Troy. He has a sword of protection that creates a bubble around him. This is the sword powered up. This is the sword not powered up. We also did a little bit of a study on Troy to see what his clothing would be like, and we stopped at this one right here. He is definitely not going to be a super good-looking dude. He's more like poor adventurer. Cool. These things are called harriers. They are bunny people, and they are the farmers of this world.
I like the harriers.
I was gonna say, I hope they fly.
Do they take off vertically?
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate all of you. And this was the
Nah, come on, man. Oh, this is awesome.
This is the resolve faces. We've also done some skin tone testing, but these four right here are going to be the basis for Troy. I think that's what we decided on. So this is all from Kevin Hinkle's childhood. He designed this stuff a long time ago. He just didn't know how to make it into a world. That's why I came on. I didn't like insert myself. I just, was like, hey, do you need help writing this thing?
That guy looks good.
Julian is a character in the comic book. He is the Smith, as it's called.
Chaotic neutral.
Chaotic good. But yeah, and also that's a promo from last week's show. Sorry. But yeah, we have the first issue storyboarded. We have it all written out. And it's a good time so far.
Gotcha.
I'm excited.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Super great. Maddie had to leave us. She sent us a note. Oh, but we have somebody else. Oh, we have our first Canadian of the day. Oh, yay.
Hail Canada. Hail Canada.
Minutes in and no Canadians. I was worried. So.
Chris, when you say that, it always reminds me of the deck officers in Empire Strikes Back, and we have our first Canadian of the day.
Our first kill of the day. Yeah. Which was also a first catch of the day. Do what?
It was the first catch of the day, but that's besides the point.
That's what Maddie would have said. Our first kill of the day.
Yes, it was catch of the day, but it was also a cut scene in the X-Wing game, and it just had that still of that and really cheesy move in their mouth so they could talk about whatever battle was going on behind them and everything. Yes, that's cool. Jeff Van Winden, how you doing today? At least we have two Jeffs now. That's good.
It's better with two Jeffs.
Of course. Dude, what did you get your head? What happened, man?
Self-imposed quarantine lockdown.
There you go. You don't need no barber.
That I probably should have shaved the face too, because I think there's more hair on my face now than my head, but not really. But I don't know.
Welcome to middle age.
Right? Yeah. No. I have a full head of hair. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lose mine, Matt.
I was going to say,
you say that now. Brave talk. Brave.
I was going to say, you talked about it, Jeff. That's the first rule. You don't talk about it. If you talk about it, something will happen.
Let's just say that there were always comments about 10 years ago from all the Lego that I had a big, full, thick head of hair. Do you see that? You see that? You see that bald spot coming in right there? It's all going away. So there you go. Just FYI.
Yeah, but you had chemo, so.
Yeah, but it grew back and then fell out. So
it decided it didn't want to stay.
No.
So my dad's got a full head of hair, so I'm not too worried about it. And he's in his 80s, so
the genes come from the mom side.
My mom had a full head of hair too.
But did your mom's dad have a full head of hair?
Yes, from what I remember from the photos, because I never met him. But
do you want to ask him where they are on the map now, Matt?
I'm mapping his genome now.
Cool. Let me know how it works out.
Okay.
So some of you might have saw it over the weekend and stuff. I built a lifter with a rear controller to lift.
That is super fun.
This one's a little unstable. It's not quite weighted, so once it gets up in the air, it tends to tip forward. So I worked on version 2.0, which isn't much different. but it has a third weight embedded in the back. Like there's a weight on each side, like the train weights, and then I've got a third one lengthwise, or vertically. Like 2 are coming in on the sides, 1 comes in on the back. So this one is pretty much the same.
I just want to say the best part are the pointy ends of the tines.
Yeah.
All the better to stab you with. I mean, stab things with.
So I was going to ask about that container that you just dropped and exploded. I was going to see how it opened. Is it still together?
I have multiple containers, so it's. I have multiple containers.
He has multiple containers.
I've got those.
Jeff, I got to give you props for the fact that version 1 didn't come apart to build version 2. You just set it to the side and started building version 2.
Because I need 2 of them. So now I'm going to rebuild version 2 to match rebuild version 1 to match 2. I also have these style containers. Let me just grab a newer one. Where is it?
It would have been even funnier if version 1 had fallen and hit version 2 and they all would have just been gone.
No.
So
I also have these style containers, which is like more of a tank container with some controls in the front.
I like it.
So yeah.
Can we go back to the back side of your loader?
Which one?
Hey, that sounds like a personal question. But
If Matt wants to see my backside, well, okay.
Let me see your loader's backside.
The left one feels like a slight Minions tribute going on there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if I like the striping on either of these. I mean, this is the newer one with the striping sideways, and I ended up doing that just because I didn't have any more of the blue 1x4 curves. And it does bow out, like there's an extra couple of plates worth of thickness in the back because of that third weight. So yeah, so I was working on those this weekend, and you might notice my background's a little different as well. I realized that my old background, like when the camera's angled this way, it was a whole bunch of junk on my shelves. So I've been slowly putting up some of my train layout buildings that I've got because they're just sitting in a bin anyhow. I might as well use them.
Train layout.
Yeah, those things they run on a track.
You mean monorail? That doesn't look like a monorail car.
Those are modulars behind you, not a train.
Those are modulars. Well, yeah, but they're from my train layout.
Engines go on the back of the vehicle, not in the front of the train.
The train is just something to illustrate, to go in the foreground of your modular layout. It's really a modular layout.
This is true. It is mostly modular layout and a little bit of trains. So, but yeah, that's what I've been working on this week. So,
awesome. The space station or the space shelf is all done. Is that right?
Yes, I moved it over here. I can probably get a closer view. Just let me get my camera switched over here. Hopefully this camera isn't dead. Oh, there's the back. Nope, that's dead. Forget it. This camera it died at some point.
Yeah, that hair is holding on. I can tell.
You don't need to
see it was all there.
Hair.
There you go. All there.
Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2.
Camera 2 is dead. It's not even lighting up right now. So, but anyway.
Hey Seth, how you doing, man? All right, that sounds good, man. That looks awesome. All right, let's see, Mark, what's going on in your world, man?
Nothing.
A whole big whopping nothing.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to switch to sort mode because my table back here is just covered in stuff from things that I've built, and I think I just need to do some sort and kind of yeah, it's a mess. I haven't really built anything lately.
You should have put a call on it.
But you have a plethora of things built, which is good.
Yes.
Yeah, I've built many things, but I think it's time to switch to sort mode. And
so does that mean that those cool things that you haven't been able to take to share with people in person yet are going to be taken apart, or are you going to move those out of the way?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's the dilemma is like, do I keep accumulating stuff until we have a convention again, or
yes.
Yes.
Question's been answered.
Very well.
Asked and answered.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have to make Small Paul pick up some junk. So the rest of the room is covered in kid mess. So
yeah.
Yes, for those of you who don't have a between 16 and a 9, 10-year-old, they will build things and then they will put them on tables and rebuild things and just pieces of it then scatter about on the floor. And there's a little dust pile that something new comes out of, but then the dust of Lego then remains. Yep, there it is.
He's spread across the entire floor, and he has his own Lego corner over there. So he's made quite the mess.
That semicircle there is the blast radius, I think.
That's the arm length. That's the pretty much arm length. His universe. But yes, there's some rules. Get that thing out of here. There's some rules in our house. If it's sat there in dust, it gets sorted. It gets put in a bucket and it has to be sorted out. So it happens.
Here, he's got a hot dog.
I was playing with that.
The big test is to go and to move something out of there to see if he notices. And when he does it, I'm like, hey, you remember this piece right here? Anyway. The even more worse thing than that is your rare parts that you're like, don't use these parts. They're in the little baggie within the drawer. And then I walk over there and there's 4 of them sitting over there being just not used, but they had gotten pulled out. That happens quite a bit. So it does. It happens. Yeah. 5-year-old does that. Yep.
Space!
Defrauded space.
I have to say that I haven't experienced that in a long time, but my grandchildren are coming for an extended stay, and that might start to happen. That's going to be unpleasant.
Yeah, for Jake and his buddies, there used to be the bucket they could play with, but it didn't matter. They would still go and get the stuff out. It happened. Dana, what's up in your world, man?
Since it's Messy Monday,
got
a blank plate. So by the time we're done, I hope to have that fixed. Now, this
Can
won't
we see
be
a progress of them all, by the way?
What's that?
Can we see a progress of them all that you've made so far?
Yeah.
You dingus. I meant like the gallery.
That's the progress. So I got an envelope in the mail on Saturday. This is not technically a unboxing or an unopening because I've technically opened it already and shared it with some people, but we're gonna do it again here anyway. So this came from, if you've recognized this logo down here, from Harris Bricks out of Australia, which I guess I've got some Australian postage here. And boy, am I glad that we spent enough money between Mark and Chris and I to get free shipping, because just looking at the price of these stamps, yeesh, ugly. Anyway, so the main reason for this order, I don't know how well this will show up because of the white background, but we ordered these, which as you can tell, they are definitely space logos inspired by old classic designs, but also updated. You can't really tell on the.
I have ordered from him before too, and they are awesome.
I can't. I now have the reason. I now need to build something just so I can use these. So that's the objective. But since we were ordering it, and I got free shipping, I figured I might as well go a little further. And he had this awesome classic space sticker from the computer screen. Other than that, I haven't decided whether that's going to go on the back of the Jeep or if it's going to go on my sticker box. I haven't quite decided yet. And then I'm also a bit of a, because of the 501st and Rebel Legion and Mando Mercs, I'm a bit of a patch hoarder. So I had to go ahead and get some of his patches. And because he had done this awesome classic space patch. Yeah. Ad Astra per Ludum, which I don't really know Latin very well, but I know that has something to do with lunar. So I'm going to I might put this on my Benny space suit outfit, maybe. I don't know, on the patch on the sleeve. They're kind of cool. And then he had a few more that I just kind of had to get to because I thought they were really cool. So this Mission Christo from Ice Planet, which was pretty slick.
That is awesome.
And then this one was a must-have. M-Tron 9091.
Nice.
What's M-Tron?
Don't go there. Don't go there. I will poop in your time bandits or or whatever. Don't mess with the M-Tron. Last but not least, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen I made a post yesterday that I had a craptastic day yesterday. I wound up being up Saturday night from 11 till 1:30 working, and then got a phone call at the bright time. Now, granted, this is probably not early for some, but for not going to bed till 2:30, 9 a.m. was a little early to get woken up to get onto another phone call. And then I proceeded to spend off and on throughout the day until 10 o'clock last night. About 8 hours of my day was on and off the phone. So during that time, I went ahead and decided, I guess I might as well work on something. And I've been wanting to do because I've got my own sig fig, as we most do, and I even have a sig fig for my wife. But I even have sig figs for my cats, believe it or not. I mean, they're they're there. But what I was missing was a sig fig for my ride. So I made a little Jeep.
Nice.
Dope, man. That's cool.
Oh,
Very cool.
well, that's very cool.
You make your wife ride in the back
On the
seat?
back. Wife is in the back seat because, unfortunately, even though I did put 2 seats in here, and I even made it so that they're reclinable in the whole 9 yards, but unfortunately, because it is a 6-wide vehicle, you can't have too many figures next to each other in the front seat, otherwise they're bumping elbows. So,
Okay.
Wait.
that was because I was trying to make it only six studs wide because I was trying to utilize the existing windshield and the existing hood pieces to make it work, and kind of looking at other 6-stud wide Jeeps. But now I feel like maybe I need to scratch the whole thing, build a version 2, and make it so that both driver and passenger can sit next to each other in the Jeep. But otherwise, at least for now, we're going with it. We got the SIG ride, as I like to call it.
So
Can you do it so that they sit next to each other, but they're staggered by 1 stud, and thereby they sort of sit next to each other?
Like 1 before, 1 back.
Yeah.
I could probably do that.
Like, see if you like that. I mean, see what that looks like.
But you're married. You can bump elbows, man. That's okay.
Well, no, I mean, because I'd have to her hand would be someplace where it would be difficult to drive.
You're married. It's okay.
No. You're right. We're married, but it'd still be difficult to drive. I'm just saying.
So Dana, after seeing that Jeep, I think you should put that sticker, the Classic Space pattern sticker, on the back of the Jeep. Yeah, totally.
So Dana,
Well,
does your Lego Jeep already have to go in the shop?
No, my Lego, because my Jeep never has to go in the shop. I think I got it in 1994, in November of 94. So it's 25 plus years old. And other than having the brakes swapped a couple times, catalytic converter, other than that, she's been rock solid.
So funny story about that. My girlfriend Emily, my betrothed, is 1 year older than your Jeep.
I have actually gotten many a comment from people because I used to work with a guy. He's like, I don't own anything older than your Jeep. I mean, because like he never hold on to things. He's always getting rid of things, getting new things. He's like, I don't own anything that's as old as your Jeep. And I'm like,
Also,
well, that's what happens when you get old.
You could go 8 wide and use one of the things from Speed Champions double seaters last year, and I don't know, go from there if you wanted to.
I looked on to because there's a new Speed Champions truck.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, supposedly, but it's not released yet, so the instructions weren't available online yet for me to look at it and kind of see how they did it. So once they're finally released, I'm going to look and see how they did that, and then I'm probably going to redesign it so it's 8 wide instead of 6.
Maybe we'll talk about it on Thursday.
Hopefully, maybe we will.
On Thursday?
On Thursday.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, Dana, I don't think any Jeep fan would be pissed off at you using the Ford Bronco as your base for the Jeep. Just saying.
Well, they stole things from Jeep, so why can't I steal things back from them, right?
Ooh, shots fired.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, don't mind that. But then, of course, I also had to make sure that it had square headlights instead of round headlights because,
yeah,
I'm that old.
Right. I was listening. All of a sudden, I got a notification that my feed to Facebook died. So the ones of people that were watching us on Facebook, I don't know what Jeff did to get us kicked off Facebook, but he did it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what happened.
Why do you always assume it's me that does something? Politicians are horrible.
90% of the time. But by the way, talking about stickers, that actually may be a good show. Good stickers. Do you guys have a sticker folder where you keep old stickers and stuff like that?
Oh, no, I'm not 6.
I ordered some stickers from the Harrisbrick guy. Before that, he made his Neoclassic Space ones.
Yep.
That go along with the little computer that came in the Batman, or whatever the Dimensions set. There was a really cool control tile in dark blue and yellow, and you can turn it like, even if you just give it a quarter turn, it looks like 4 different panels. It's a really good little, multifunctional thing. So he made some additional stickers to go with that. So I ordered those. But I'm excited a bit about getting his classic space. But there's another guy, can't remember his name, but his Facebook page is Back to Space. And so he made some computer tile and control slopes and stuff, computers too. So I have some of those. They're very good. So the thing that I actually do is I print, when I'm printing stickers for a spaceship, then I print a bunch of extras so I can cut out other classic space logos. So I have my own stickers, and I have a ton of stickers I never used on sets in a folder here. So.
I actually never put my stickers on sets. I just carry them in my instructions, usually the front book. And if I got extras like the Harrisbrick classic space ones, I got an order of those, and those are now in a file along with any other extra sticker things that I've ordered. So if I do use stickers, I tend to scan them and print them out on something that's reasonably good looking or good enough looking, and then put them on a mock or a set. But I definitely don't use my original stickers because that's once you've used them, they're gone. So, do I have a sticker room? I might.
It's really not really a room. It's probably more of an annex.
Right now, I can't find my folder yet because it's in boxes over there somewhere. But it'll come in a month or so.
It's called the library.
Yeah, I do have a library.
A librarian.
I have a instruction library. It's in the library.
I tell you the thing though. I wish I'd have knowing now, if I could go back, if I can get tons and tons more of the sticker sheets from Exoforce, the first line. I mean, I've used a lot of the useful ones off of these. I got 4 or 5 of these, and Mark and we were buying those for like $2 a piece at Enfield. The sets that all those came in. Had I known, man, I would have gotten 4 or 5 times more. I mean, but you're like, they'll make those forever, and they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Good.
I actually just put away all my other people's stickered stuff into a new bin for parts that have been stickered, and a lot of them are Exoforce.
Yeah.
Just sharing. I got some torso stickers. These white ones here are transparent. Sorry?
Jackets.
Yeah, Brick Sticker Shop. It's one Dave Cowdice used as well. These ones are transparent, so I'll be able to do any color fig I want.
That's awesome.
With that one. So looking forward to that.
Why didn't you guys tell me the Brick Sticker Shop is a thing?
We did.
No, none of you did up until just now.
Well, are you? Oh, well, okay. Dave Cowdice did. You didn't follow him on YouTube.
Yeah. Do you not watch Dave Cowdice's stuff?
What's YouTube?
Yeah. What's YouTube?
that we've only talked about it probably about 3 or 5 times on this show, but
that place that cut your video the other day.
Bold of you to assume I pay attention.
Well, I didn't want to call you out, but thanks for helping me call you out.
Yeah, no problem. Also, Dana, check your Facebook Messenger.
Ooh.
Oh, you're talking behind my back now. That's good. That's great.
Yeah, we always do, typically, Chris. Yeah,
that's cool.
will probably crash my StreamYard if I go into that. Yes, I kind of assumed as much.
Yeah. Do you want that one?
No. I mean, I'm just gonna steal the instructions from it.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm really looking for.
All right.
But I appreciate the offer, though.
I gotta send Meredith one of those, not from that, but from something else. I gotta keep that in mind. Okay. All right. Hi. Hello.
Oh, I gotta send Maddie her hidden side bus. I gotta remember to do that. I gotta grab that. Take it
I
up.
haven't sent that, Chris.
No, I'm lame.
Jeez, man. No wonder she had to dip out early.
She sent me a message. Said her mom was mad at her or whatever. Or it was that public. She put that in the private chat.
Yeah,
her mom was mad at her because she's on live stream again. Now she's on all the time, but my show she gets mad at her. So,
you know, we've got to. We need to get rid of. We need like a separate Zoom or account or whatever, just so we can put up a little guest figure when we don't have a full thing here. So there's a little window with Maddie's sig fig in there, or you know, something.
Well, actually, all Mark has to do is get his phone and then log into StreamYard and just another account, and then you can pop it in there. That'd be hilarious.
All I hear is plans, but I don't see it happening.
That's true.
I'm super lazy. It's not going to happen for me.
All right, I got a humble brag. I got to show you this. This came out really well, and
you can brag about that all you want because it is freaking awesome.
I built this. Matt and I talked on Saturday on the Zoom, and I piddled around with this, and then finished it out. You know, just like a few minutes after that. There it is, right there. So
go big screen.
That's so cool.
Now I haven't finished the backside. It looks like crap, but you know. But,
don't ignore the man behind the curtain.
That's right. I only did one. I mean, I only focused on one side, so that was a lot of fun. I don't do rock work a lot, and getting the lines in there was important. So,
now, did you just go off of memory on that one, or did you actually pull up some reference? Or
I found one reference little picture and had it up on the screen, and it basically was just that, a little cliff and everything, but in my mind, I could see all the buttes and all the formations from those Roadrunner cartoons, which I love the art in those back in the day.
And if you do the background, there's got to be that wispy cloud that goes back around there, kind of thing that would just stream with that. Because as soon as you posted that, I'm like, you totally just hit the right feel for that thing.
Well, I appreciate that. That's cool.
Hey, Chris, we never see the backside in the cartoon either, so you're fine.
They're right. 2D animation. That's right. So
exactly.
I put it on the TikToks, and I have this kid that keeps telling me, "I'll buy it." I'm like, "Well, you know, it's not cheap." "Oh, but I'll buy it. How much is it?" I'm like, "Well, how much you got?" You know, that's usually the joke that runs people off. But he keeps but then I look and see his videos, and he's like, "Hey, I got a Boba Fett." And he's like 3, or he's like 15 or 12. He's 12, and like
3, 15,
give
12.
me your dad's credit card. That'll be fine. Come on. No. So finally, I hope he stopped asking. But anyway, but thank you for that. That's cool.
So I got to ask you, your clouds.
Yes.
Because I know you've done some clouds before. Did you take inspiration? I mean, I'm not calling you out for stealing other people's ideas, but I just want to know, where did you get your cloud work from, or where were you pulling it from?
I grabbed some white pieces and shoved them on. I mean,
okay, all right.
I looked at the thing and I said, okay, it needs to be thicker, puffy cloud here, thinner, and then thicker at the back. So the one I like the most is this, where this little curve back here gives it some motion. But it was just grab white circular pieces and stick them on and make it look right. That's all. I mean, there was not a big plan of, let's see about where the physics is taking. It's like, that looks pretty good. So I mean,
even better.
But yeah, that's it.
The other correct response would have been, he got it from the cloud.
Boom.
Yeah. Sorry.
You don't have to apologize for that one. On this show with Chris and Matt with their dad jokes, no, you were completely fine with that.
Matt's not making dad jokes. He's building his Imperial probe right now. So, droid.
Is that what? Never mind. There was a joke there, and we're gonna let it slide.
I tossed it out there.
Probe that further, Dana. I'm gonna probe that further.
Okay.
Hang on, I gotta let the dog out, and I am letting the dog out. I'm not.
Yeah.
Is it a good time to leave? Really? Is it? After that started?
We're talking about probes. We could talk.
I want an Ember Fud too.
We could go the alien angle on this one. We could, there's all sorts of places we can go.
We could bring back up the bear.
The bear.
Don't poke the bear.
Don't poke the bear. Jeez, I think we'll let Chris go when we're doing uncomfortable silence. Are we actually all that busy?
I'm rebuilding my number one lifter.
It's Boone.
Hey, look, it's Boone.
Hey, everybody. Sorry I couldn't be here earlier.
What is it, like 1 p.m. in the West Coast?
It's 4:50.
Late Boone is better than no Boone.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, we were in a dry spell because Chris walked away, and it's no fun saying uncomfortable things when he's not here to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, and it's Messy Monday, so we don't really have a topic per se. We're just kind of,
We were in the middle of probe droid jokes, but then he walked away and we just quit.
Yeah.
We can do it again when he comes back, though.
Right.
Yeah, you got
can always
practice.
make a reprise.
Exactly. So what's going on the West Coast?
I just got done building the UCS Slave 1, and we were doing that in a stream, and we ran into y'all's stream a little bit here, so my apologies, but hopefully some of those folks came over to watch.
Okay,
I heard everything you said while I was gone. Hello, Boone. How are you, man?
Doing well, buddy. How are you?
Boone, I'm going to ask you the Stephen Colbert question. Is that UCS Slave 1 a great set or the greatest set ever?
It is. It is a great set, and it is certainly in my very small list of greatest sets ever. I don't know if it is at the very first position in my greatest sets ever. I think I'll have to because I built it on a live stream, I'm gonna have to like live with it a little bit off the live stream, and turn off my live stream brain and sort of appreciate the model as
you need to swoosh it more.
Clearly, yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to you guys because I know that like there are a lot of people who do the building live streams and stuff like that, and smaller sets I can see doing, but UCS style sets, because I had when I got the UCS Falcon, I had a buddy of mine who goes by the handle The Real McCoy, and he's been doing Boba Fett and podcasts for costuming and all this for years. And he came over and I actually finished the last bag while chatting with him. And that was the most tiring hour that I think I've ever had building Lego, because it was hard to do UCS style instructions and keep a conversation going. And it was probably like an hour. So you guys, the fact of doing that Slave 1 for, what was it, 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, we did it on the 4th, we did it on the 5th, and then we did it today.
Yeah, finish it today. Yeah, no, that's nice.
I think we did 2 hours on the 4th and we did 2 hours on the 5th. And I was thinking we would only need 1 more hour, but we took another hour and 45 minutes today. So it was almost a 6-hour build for me. Granted, it's very difficult for me to build fast and stream and talk to the live stream at the same time.
Exactly. No, I mean, it's impressive. It's very impressive because, yeah, I wouldn't even try to do something that big. That's just crazy.
It's not a good time anytime you decide to build and stream, because you're like, am I neglecting people? What's happening right now? It's just not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's welcome somebody. It looks like you brought some friends with you, and I'm so glad for that. And I'm going to butcher names because I always do. Luke's Solorzano is here. It's Donna Sewell is here. Scottish 510 is here. Gary Mullane is here. Our own Lego Maddie. This is our stand-in for Maddie here. How you doing, Maddie? Good to see you.
Oh man.
We gotta prep Maddie to be doing some little giggles in the background or something like that.
And there needs to be a cat with its butt facing the camera.
That's awesome. Mr. Blue, I think I said hello to Mr. Blue. Brett Hoopa is here. That's awesome.
Hoopa.
Lego Matic is here. Jake Sadovich is here. That is awesome. Brett Ski is here. Holly is here. Glad you guys have joined us. And I've missed somebody. Edison Ezon is here. If I've missed some of you folks joining us, I apologize for that, but I'm so glad you've joined us. This is Messy Monday. It is where we just kind of hang out and talk and cat butt. We have cat butt. It's cat butt.
There it is.
I want Maddie to be watching and freaking out trying to get in here, and she can't because all of our slots are full.
Oh no!
And her mom's like, Maddie, why are you getting agitated? You're not listening to that live stream, are you?
Oh me, that would be amazing.
Wouldn't it be really sad if she was trying to get in and she can't get in because the 10th slot is full of like her mannequin?
Replica Maddie.
You said it like it's a sad, bad thing, but that's just comic gold right there. I can't get in because my double is already there.
What are those guys doing? Oh, it's so great. It's so fun to pick on the young. Anyway, we could be rocking in our rocking chairs going. Anyway, so Boone, you finished, and I will say, and I'm impressed that you guys can build on live stream and get it done. The only time I've tried, and Mark and Bricksmith were gracious enough to sit with Jake and I as we slugged through the Hidden Side fire truck, which is an amazing set. But I don't think I enjoyed the build as much because I'm sitting there sweating under my armpits and stuff, trying to stay on, keep everything under the camera and keep a conversation going. So that is not my strong suit. So salute to you and being able to do that.
Well, thank you. And it is, it is just different. It's a different experience. It is hard. It's not easy. It certainly is a lot of fun. It is a different kind of fun having, having everybody in the live chat engaging is different fun than sort of just like solitary building. It's very difficult for me. I don't know what y'all are doing the whole time during this stream. Do you mostly sort, or are you working on mocks, or what do y'all typically do during this stream?
Yes.
Well, I can't talk and build at the same time very much, so I'm just talking to this or listening. Okay. But right now I'm building some dynamite from the Bugs Bunny cartoon with the flying dynamite.
Oh, nice.
Because I gotta make more mocks.
I end up sorting because I have sorting to do.
Yeah.
But
sorting and talking is a little bit easier than building and talking.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Except for the noise. And I have to get myself muted. That means I don't talk. Go on.
Yeah, that's hard.
And actually, Rich, if you don't mute yourself, we'll just mute you anyway. So
yeah, that happens too.
So it is. I find it much easier to build a set and stream than it is to build a mock and stream.
Oh, absolutely.
I will agree with that.
Yeah, other way around for me.
Like I almost can't. And I know, Jeff. I know you do it all the time. Are you the one that said other way around for me?
Yeah, I build mocks on a live stream rather than a set, like 90% of the time.
Yeah, it is virtually impossible for me to use the parts of my brain that I rely on for mock building.
Yeah.
I can't do it while also using the parts of my brain that I rely on for live streaming.
No, part of my brain that makes snarky comments is the same part I need to be creative, so I can't do both of them.
Yes, match kryptonite, being civil.
That's right. Oh, my son. My son is at driving school, but apparently is on a break. Hey, son, how are you? Good to see you. Insurance is still good, so keep it up. All right.
Oh my God.
Hey, Dad, I'm on a break.
Hey, Dad, the officers pulled me over, so I'm on a break.
Hey, Dad, I'm live streaming. I'm getting a ticket. Anyway, that would be bad.
Great.
Hang on.
Oh, Boone, I finished 2 mocks this week. I feel pretty important.
That's awesome. Was one of them the Batmobile?
Yeah, one of them was the Batmobile. The other one was the Sewer Surfer for Donatello.
I can't remember what did you send me photographs in like Facebook Messenger of that Batmobile?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to take some time because I haven't pulled them up and like made them full screen on like my computer, which is something I should go ahead and do because I really liked the look of it, but I didn't really like see them, up close.
Oh, okay.
Because I was just like I was on my phone at the time,
Yeah.
All right.
But boy, I love Batmobiles. It is almost impossible to. It's almost impossible to displease me with a Batmobile mock. So.
Well, I'm really hoping Lego. I mean, I know that they did the minifig scale 89 Batmobile as a gift with purchase, and the rumor is there's going to be a tumbler that is minifig scale with the tumbler set that is rumored to come out. A rumor, I guess, but. With the 66 Batmobile and the love they put into it with a sticker and a stand, I would love for them to do a whole line of Batmobiles as a line. I mean, one per year, I don't care, to have that minifig scale. But, by the way, somebody's trying to get in. I hope it's Maddie. I got the notification that they were full. But anyway, I want her to come up in the chat to go, I'm trying to get in. But anyway, but let's see what happens. Probably going to be somebody lame like Gil trying to get in. But anyway.
Oh, man.
Nice.
But anyway.
Now I can hope it is Gil.
What was that?
You'll be nice to Gil.
Gil is my friend. He has been.
Is he?
He's my first Canadian love.
That's weird. All right.
Well, notice he said his first Canadian love, not his last Canadian love.
Chris,
That's right.
what are you saying? You want a new minifig scale Batmobile every year that's based on like a history of the Batmobile?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want all the Batman animated Batmobiles. I want all the movie Batman animated Batmobiles.
Do you do any of you follow F111 Toys on Instagram? He puts out a new Batmobile mock. I don't know. I mean, it seems like every week, but maybe it's less often than that. But.
No, you're right. As we all go to our browsers and open it up.
I'm pulling up Instagram right now. I think
it's different themes.
What is it? F111, right? Or no, it's F spelled out 111.
Yes.
Is that right? So the F is just the letter F, but then 111 is all spelled out. And he does a few other things, but most of what he does is Batmobiles.
Wow.
And many of them are inspired by a specific Batmobile from the history of Batman, but many of them are just like mocks. I mean, they're all mocks, but many of them are just sort of like his own design.
I guess I'm personally on Batman overload after the Lego Batman movie, so
yeah.
I don't know that we need a Batmobile every year. That seems like a lot. But.
Hey, Chris, I've got that guy's page open up if you want to hit the share screen button.
But the Lego Batman movie was 3 years ago at least. You're still burnt out from that.
It's still not selling in my Bricklink store.
Okay, that sounds like a personal problem, but
what's not selling in your Bricklink store?
Lego Batman sets.
Any of them?
Not really.
Follow. I follow.
This looks like Kit.
Do you have Batmobiles sitting there?
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
that's nice.
Sound effect.
Yeah. Wow.
Cool. The Joker car is really awesome too. That's awesome. That's neat.
Yeah, like it's a little off from the Cyberpunk car, but it's close enough. It looks good.
But you know, the reason I bring up the Batmobile thing though is I can't figure out the impetus for Lego to put a stand, a stickered plate for display for the 66 Batmobile and not do that for something else. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, but I mean,
it could be you're hoping it could be a trend. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Oh.
Oh, that makes sense. So you're saying like, why would they do it for that?
Yes.
If they weren't also going to kind of plan on doing it for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope that's my son bringing up the rumor that there's a DeLorean set. So maybe they're going to make not just Batmobiles, but they're going to make famous vehicles in minifig size. That would be cool too. I'm all for it.
With real windshields, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they can improve on that. There's no getting worse from the original DeLorean. It's okay. It's not bad, but it could be better. So new pieces and things.
Legomatic in the chat said, new challenge, disappoint Boone with the Batmobile. I had told Jeff it's hard to disappoint me with the Batmobile. So, yeah,
I want to try.
Oh. Holly said, I thought the Lego Batman sets were great. And I was going to ask you, Matt, do you have Batmobiles sitting in your...
I'd have to look.
Because I honestly, and this is purely my sort of like lay person assessment, I think all of the... I feel like the Batmobiles were really great. And the rest of the line was somewhat less great. If you
let Dana hear you say that.
Well, so what do you mean? I'm sorry, I was half paying attention. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I feel like from a like if you look at every set that was released for the Lego Batman movie, it is my hunch that the Speedwagon and the Ultimate Batmobile and maybe the like Bat Cave, because every new generation of kids might want a Bat Cave, and then like the Penguin Mobile I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, his little roadster.
Yeah. I
feel
like
probably one of the best builds in that entire series, but yes.
Yeah. I think I feel like aside from the ones I mentioned, and perhaps there might be a couple others that someone could point out to me that I'd go like, oh yeah, that one's really good too. But
the Joker, the Riddler car was amazing. I liked it.
The Riddler, the green one.
Yeah.
I think the thing about that car is it easily could have been it could have been a Ninjago car.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
This is what it felt like to me.
So my point is about all the other, like the whole rest of that line, to me wouldn't surprise me if like those had ended up being some like kind of clearance shelf sets.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I feel like the very Batman centric sets were the ones that could perform well, and kind of the rest of the line struck me as stuff that maybe wasn't necessarily going to perform as well.
And I think you're right. And for me, and I think a lot of people felt the same way, that those sets were just padding for the Rogues Gallery to be added.
Sure. Yeah.
Because for me, the whole Batman, the Lego Movie Batman series, the whole thing, and I have them all, and I specifically got them all because it wasn't the Batman or the vehicle that I needed; it was the Rogue that I needed for the whole thing. Because for me, that's what made that whole thing. That's what makes me buy all the Spider-Man sets, is because I've already got a boatload of Spider-Mans, but I need the villains because that's where it's all at. And that was the whole thing with the Batman thing, is like watching that movie and seeing all those villains come out. And I'm like, oh my God, please make this. Please make this. They made the Gentleman Ghost. I mean, come on. An obscure character like that, you put him in a set. Granted, it was a Harley Quinn set, so it probably sold fairly well. But I had to get that set just for the Gentleman Ghost.
They made Condiment Man, which was my favorite villain.
The Condiment Man, perfect. The fact that there was a kite, the kite guy, everything. But it was all about
the chicken mech. Come on.
The egg. Lego-matic mentioned the Eggman mech.
Egghead with his mech, which actually was a pretty good mech. That was a pretty decent set, even if you weren't a Batman fan or an Egghead fan. That was a pretty cool little mech, especially with the fact that it was shooting out eggs and they had the whole thing in the back. The way it looked, just
his hand is a whisk, and then there were some funny stickers and stuff like that on that.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
That was a good set. But you're right though, Boone. Most of those other the fact that it was a Batman theme, but everything was weird cars, because granted that's what they did in the movie, but you know.
Yeah. Oh well, and it also is like, okay, you wrote that to sell these car toys to us. I mean, it was kind of, that was a little obvious. I mean, I was all in. I bought them, so I mean.
But again, you know, those cars were made, or the cars and the vehicles and everything, because you needed to have something to put those rogues into. So
right. Yeah, you know, when the Lego Movie came out, I really felt like they had landed on something special with that Batman character.
Yep.
Because, you know, it was like for years we've seen every reboot has to try to figure out how to do the alleyway without it feeling like we've seen the alleyway 1,000 times.
Yep.
And every reboot has to figure out how to do the bats without it seeming like we've seen the bats 1,000 times, you know, and all these you know, the pearls and all the iconic moments. And then it was like this version of Batman came along that could, you know, it's like before Lego Batman, it's almost like Batman was already a caricature of itself, and each legitimate kind of serious take on it was trying just to do the best they could to continue to do it and do it all again in some ways and in new ways. But Lego Batman was like, let's take that and turn it on its head and make this character fully almost like live into the admission that we've all seen this 100 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like they did that in a really subtle way with the Lego Movie. I feel like they did it in a very overt way with the Lego Batman movie, and I wasn't upset with that. Because there were some parts of it, you know, there was something, I think when the Joker says something about the balloons or a parade or something like that. And I'm like, and it's just these tiny little quips that are like these, you know, mentions of old comic books and the old TV show and like all the iterations of the movies that have come along. And I'm like, this is hilarious. Like clearly they had like really dedicated Batman fans working on this film.
Well, the little montage where it flickers through like all the years.
Yeah.
And they did the Lego version for all the different variations of Batman. It was like, these are Batman fans. This is not just somebody scripting this out. They, you know, they knew to go in and dig for all these things. Yeah. Which is, I think we've even talked about that for the Lego Movie when they were talking about the classic space and Benny and everything. That's like, you know, this was childhood infused into a movie, not just, we're going to throw this character in. Same thing with the Batman.
I think the fine little point I was trying to make there is that in the Lego Movie, they created this Batman character that was just this really wonderful kind of take on one of many of our favorite old characters, right? And they were able to use that character in a really creative way to like add to the story. Whereas in the Lego Batman movie, it was sort of like, okay, now we have this character. What more can we do to like create something big around this character? And then when they're sort of exploring all those other characters, it was kind of like what you guys were suggesting, like, well, let's sell all these characters, right? And I just don't know that it came across as like kind of rich and compelling as it did in the Lego Movie.
I agree. I mean, and I enjoyed the Lego Batman movie, but there was a moment where it's like, you know, he was great as a side character, fulfilling the story. As the major character is like, this almost got tedious, but not quite. But it was close. But him as a side character with the side gags and all that kind of stuff in the first movie was quite magic. Like he's Batman, but he's also kind of a little bit of loser bro from high school, you know, kind of thing, and trying to live up to the hype of who he is. I thought was hilarious, right? So I mean, they're both excellent, but yeah, the special moment of him in the Lego Movie itself being that side character going, wait, why is Batman a little bit of a dingleberry? But he's hilarious as a dingleberry. And, he's all super tough. It was great. I enjoyed that. So,
well, and for me, I see what you're saying about in like the Batman movie is that it did feel like some things were kind of pushed or it felt like they were a little strained at times. Because you're right, because in the Batman or in the Lego movie, he was the one-liners through a lot of it. It wasn't enough to drag it through. And so, because like the scene where he's in the mansion and he's all by himself and it's kind of a little lonely and depressing. I was like, okay, we could have done without this part. So
I like him microwaving and having a.
The part where he goes, it felt like he goes and talks to the painting of his mom and dad. I thought that was so funny.
But it was the bits. But it felt like some of it was like a little too drawn out. And I know that they do that in the Family Guy, and that's the Family Guy thing is to make an uncomfortable moment go longer than it should. But they didn't need to do that. I mean, if they had kept it a little quippier, it probably would have felt a little better.
Yeah.
Still like the movie.
And please don't hear me say I didn't like that movie because I absolutely did.
Will Arnett is coming to your house tomorrow to talk to you about this moment.
He's like, Boone, bro.
He knows where you live.
What are you saying about me, man?
He's seen the paperwork. He knows where you live.
Yeah, I guarantee he does not spend any time looking at paperwork.
I guarantee he does not know this show exists on the planet.
So, Boone, I was watching Old Great Bricks, and I don't know if you were talking ill about me, but we need to talk. Call me back. This is Will, by the way.
Will also does
now
not
you may or may not, and this is thought in my head, you may or may not can talk about this. So the deal with Warner Brothers is done in Lego in movies, right? So do you think he's going to be allowed to say or talk about Lego Batman as much in the second season of Lego Masters with Fox? And is that going to be a thing, do you think, or what?
He wasn't really allowed to talk about Lego Batman on season 1.
Oh, really?
They kind of make that joke where he's like, "I'm the Batman," and that's really the kind of the most they did with it.
Really?
And it was sort of like they could make it a joke. You know what I mean? They may have said the voice of Lego Batman somewhere in there, and they probably just got permission to do that. But listen, let me tell you what I do know is that nothing that we know publicly about agreements between corporations is 100% indicative one way or the other of what we may or may not see in the future. Mm-hmm. Because even if they've published a big thing about these agreements are coming and these agreements are over, there are still agreements happening all the time that we'll never hear about. And I know that's true. And everything that you see is the result of somebody making some agreement with somebody else. And sometimes that's a contract that's going to last for 2 years or 10 years. Sometimes that's we want this to happen next month, and so we need to make this little agreement, and we do. You know what I mean? So I know that gave you a lot of really clear information.
For a few minutes there, it sounded like Boone was channeling William Shatner.
Oh, totally. If somebody didn't make the comment, I was.
No, it sounded like the woman in Atlanta on the NPR studio who sounds like she takes a breath between each word. Hi, I'm Lois Reitzes on Atlanta's NPR station. I honestly thought she was like 75-year-old woman with emphysema until I looked up her picture, and she's like 45, but she just pauses between each word. I'm not kidding. Like, go listen to her if you don't believe me.
It just happens when I'm trying. I can't think on a stream. Sometimes it's like my thoughts my capacity to spit out words catches up to my speed of thoughts, so then I just have to stop. It's like buffering. It's like literally I should have like a little buffering wheel when that's happening,
overload.
because
it's the NDA filter in your brain that causes you to slow down as
the shock collar
talking.
Shock collar.
So I have my UCS sticker right here. And I have to apply it, but I was talking about that NDA stuff while I was peeling the sticker off the sheet. So like I literally gave myself like no option, because I was totally going to ask you guys like, all right, UCS sticker, should I stick or should I leave it on the sheet? And I was talking.
You committed to it now.
So anyway, don't watch me, but I thought it would be fun to let you all in on that. So
the worst thing would be all of a sudden it slips off the thing you've got it stuck to and it lands on the floor. You pick it back up, it's got dirt and hair and everything in it, and it's ruined.
Oh man. So yeah, so not only do I have problems with my mouth and my mind not being able to be in sync this far into a stream, because we streamed for 2 hours before I popped over here, but apparently my hands will also just start doing stuff without my brain knowing it. Boon.exe has stopped working.
Where the other one was a buffer overload, that is a memory leak that is happening. So I would definitely suggest upping your RAM.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and what Matthew said about the lady on NPR, which I'm going to be honest with you, I would say you are a high percentage of the only percentage in here that listens to NPR regularly. But I mean, I may be wrong. But
you are. I listen to NPR every day.
I listen to it occasionally. All right. So, but I also like to listen to Sirius XM. I don't have a subscription, but I get it on my Dish service. And when Nina Blackwood from the 80s, when the original VJs is on, you can hear in everything. When she breathes in after every other word, you can hear every cigarette she smoked bubbling in her lungs. And I feel so bad, and I want to cough for her and clear my throat for her, because she'll be like, here comes Billy Joel. Man. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. I mean, but she's so very gravelly, and you can hear it rattling in her chest. And I'm like, oh, cough, lozenge, come on.
Okay, so when I was in college, there were only 4 professors that taught political science. And I never took one of them because he actually had an issue with his throat, which made it sound like he was chronically hoarse. And he would always talk like this. And I would swallow out of sympathy for him. And I would get a sore throat just from listening to him talk, because I kept swallowing, because he sounded like he really needed a glass of water all the time. And I would swallow. And I was like, I can't sit through an entire semester with a sore throat. I never took him because of that. I just couldn't listen to him with his very hoarse voice. Terrible. I know. Yeah. I'm a horrible person.
No, I get it. I mean, I get uncomfortable watching news reporters, and if there's a half-second delay, and when they ask the person the question, and then you see them nodding along, listening to the feed in their ear, and there's a delay, and so there's awkward pause. It could be like a half a millisecond. I'm like, I'm probably turning the channel. It makes me nervous. If something's about to blow up, something's going wrong with the audio.
It's kind of like when you have to go walk the dog, and there's like this uncomfortable silence that happens.
What? Yes, I like that. Did you?
Is he in? Is he out? Is he in? Is he out? Is he in? Is he area?
Sorry, I was trying to switch cameras so I could show you guys how masterfully I applied that giant sticker. I'm really, really pleased with it, and I felt really distracted going into that sticker application. So, but I'm not gonna show you because this camera doesn't focus up here. So sorry.
Oh, can you demonstrate your new little like focusy mobile camera-y thing, or does that have to be a different?
That's what I was trying to do. It would be fun to but let me
a little bit of sticker teeth.
You know what I'll do is I'll just so I don't risk getting bumped out of the thing again, let's see. I'll just do it in another window, and then I'll share that window. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
So this is Chris, did you hear me talking about why I have this new camera?
I just saw your little info about what you drew and built, so I don't know all much about it. So
yeah, so I'm partnering with Roland. They reached out to me, and I don't know why, because I don't have like a huge. I don't have a. I love my live viewership, and I cherish every one of them, but it's not like it's not huge. You know what I mean? So I think that they just wanted kind of a beta testing. So Roland is famous for synthesizers and like guitar pedals and stuff like that. And they're kind of wanting to get into the live streaming sphere. And the way I look at it is I kind of consider myself part of their like beta tester focus group. So they're partnering with all these folks. So I got new headphones, I got new cameras, and they're sending me analog, selling me digital switchers so that I can set up all kinds of stuff, and they just want to know what my experience is like. And then if people ask like, what do you use for live streaming, I'm supposed to say, well, I partner with Roland. But no one has asked me that, so I was not required to say that just now.
But at this point in time, you can officially say you've talked about it, so you can check off a checkbox somewhere.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull this up, but this camera is blowing my mind, and I'm gonna see if I can. It says the camera's being run by other apps. What other apps are trying to run this camera? That is that. Okay. Can I?
Wow, Maddie went shopping again.
And she brought somebody home with her.
That's right. I'm gonna talk to her mom about that guy. He's wrong. He's wrong for her.
If he's wrong, I don't want to be right.
He's a space bummer,
We
right?
still have a slot open, right? No, we don't have a slot.
No.
We can pop Maddie out for just a second.
Let's try this. Let's try that real quick, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. There we go.
Okay, so this is my new build cam, and that's just sort of looking over there. But I've got presets that allow me to like. This is my build space.
Oh, that was just cool.
Like wide, and then if I want to zoom in a little bit, like that's another preset. And then I've got a really quite a tight preset here, so that like if I want to show this, I can show that, or if I want to like show a minifigure, like that's one of the things that I've always struggled with is like showing minifigures in a live stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because they're very interesting, but to try to get the webcam to focus and to try to do it close enough on a thing, like I'm always displeased with that. And then I'm gonna take you out of my ears here, because I'm gonna walk over here and I'm gonna shout at you. So I hope you can still hear me. But if I want to like come over to where I sort stuff and talk about my sorting, I've got another preset for that, so I can like stand over here and like talk about this stuff here. And if I want to come right over here, I've got a preset for that, and I can talk about this stuff here. And then if I want to show my display shelves, I can point over to the display shelves. And so over here at the display shelves, I've got this is about half mocks, half sets, and this zoom is just so wild that like I can zoom in here and it'll take just a second to focus, but I can be like, if I want to talk about those gold wheels, if I want to talk about those gold wheels that were on that Batmobile, I can be like, yeah, there's that, or there's that the copy I made of the, whatever. If I want to talk about like an SDCC exclusive, be like, oh, there's the box right there, And so yeah, it's really wild. And then back to the preset goes like all the way out on that entire section of the room, and that's only 6 of 9 available presets. So it's pretty wild. I'm blown away by it. And it's the crazy thing is it's like it's what I've imagined wanting for what I do for years. It's like in my head I've thought, man, if I could mount a camera on the ceiling that I could point wherever I want, like that's ideal. But I'm like, I can't even imagine, like, I would look into I would look into like Amazon, like security footage kind of stuff. And most of those are not, most of those are fixed. They're not like something that you can manipulate to that degree. And we really I don't know. I'm blessed that I stumbled into this, kind of beta testing deal with these folks. So they sent me this camera. So it's really awesome. But anyway, I'm not trying to sell it to you. So
I don't know. I drank the Kool-Aid because that was pretty freaking cool. When you hit that button and it turned and swiveled it down, and I was like, whoa, that's just freaking awesome.
Well, yeah, and that solves the, all the webcams, the build cams always seem to be upside down. The hands are coming from the top of the screen, not the bottom of the screen, and yours flipped around, so your hands are correct. That's awesome.
Oh, so check this out. I can do all this here. I mean, can you full screen that again?
Yep.
So if I go back to my tabletop preset, and you saw my washer and dryer there for a second. So that's the weird thing is I got to avoid the laundry, but
you need one of those Japanese screens that you could put in front of the.
Yeah,
it would be very well. You know what? It felt like a little moto because his washer and dryer are always in the background,
right?
Exactly. So I'm just using the remote. You guys, it's like a TV. So I just clicked menu, and you can go to image, and it has. So I've got the horizontal flip and the vertical flip turned on. So that's how, like, in the camera, before it even gets to the computer with the software in the camera, I can adjust those types of things, and it's wild.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
That is freaking awesome.
I wonder how much it actually costs, though.
Well, it's not cheap. This is about I think this is they've got a few different models that are between like 1,500 and 2,000. Wow. So it's certainly more, and it's the reason I never would have had it, right? Like, so anyway, #blessed, I guess, is what I'll say about that. That's awesome.
No, that's until you said that dollar amount, you had me sold, and then.
But I will tell you this, because I'm not officially like selling this stuff. The Roland's partner, and this is not my stream either, so I can talk. But Roland's partner is not the only company that makes a camera like that. So if you're interested in it, hop on Amazon, and you can find some really cool stuff out there that is not necessarily at that price point. So anyway.
No,
but it's the future. I think there's just going to be more and more of that kind of stuff. I don't mean it's the future. I just think it's one direction people can choose to go, and it's particularly since quarantine, it's becoming more and more. That market is becoming more and more competitive, right? Where for years and years and years, you had like 3 or 4 companies that could make prosumer level camera equipment, and nobody else could compete. And now, because of everything that everyone has been trying to do from home for the last year, there's a lot of great stuff out there, and you maybe haven't heard of the name of the company before, so that can sometimes require you to do a little bit of extra research, but but the competition is good. All right, sorry, I feel like I've said way too many words for the amount of time I've been in this stream.
No, I'm all like, dude, that's awesome. I mean, I'm all geeked out about the hardware, so I'm all good.
Yeah,
I'm not scared. So don't worry.
And I should say too, I'm a huge proponent of like, use what you have. Do what you can with what you have for as long as you have it. And I did that for many, many years. And I hope that anyone watching this and thinking about doing this kinds of stuff, I hope that you're encouraged to just create, get out there and create, and don't let your gear make or break what you choose to create. I guess I've just been doing it long enough now that I've found some doors to be opened. So
well, this you raise an interesting point, which is that during COVID, so many of us have been using cam technologies. Do you think that's going to decrease, or do you think that's pushed the camera makers to produce more volume and maybe bring prices down?
Well, what I do know is that it has introduced, viability for a lot of companies that we've never heard of before. And I think that what we saw about a year ago, between 9 months and a year ago, all the major companies that people would typically buy that stuff, your Logitech, your Canons, your Nikons, your Sonys, whoever else would make. There's probably a couple of other kind of like dedicated webcam type things that are maybe almost as big as Logitech, but they all could not meet the demand because they'd had years of kind of operating at one demand level, and then all of a sudden that demand exploded. And those big companies, similar to Lego, right? Like, we don't tend to see Lego make big changes fast, right? We watch them from the fan perspective, and it's very, very easy for all of us to speculate, like, oh, well, if they would only do this, or if they would only do that. And they're so big, and their systems are like giant tank treads, right? Or giant clocks. And to imagine, changing the hand on the giant clock, it's a big task, right? Or stopping the tank treads on this giant treadmill. And so, that provided an opportunity for other companies, particularly in the, like, we all have to work from home now. We all need printers. We all need webcams. We all need software that just works because we don't have IT departments at home. We don't all have, we don't all have necessarily the background that we need to set up a home office, right? Like, most people didn't have to used to know how to do that. And very quickly it went from, like, a very small percentage of people needing to work from home to a very large percentage of people needing to work from home.
And most companies didn't know. And like you're saying, and I'm sure that's where, like, the webcams and the microphones, I know Mark's been having a problem trying to find a good microphone because, the market is so dry because they've all been bought up. And it's the same scenario with when everything started going remote. Zoom was like it wasn't open source, but it was darn near close at the time when everything started going crazy, and people were like, well, I don't want to use this, and Citrix is too, or Cisco's too expensive, or this or that. But hey, there's this free company that we can use, and they were vastly underprepared for when the pandemic hit. And I mean, they wound up hiring, like a boatload of people just to keep up with demand because they were getting hammered.
But they did it, whatever they did it right. They did it fast. They acted fast at the right time when all of the other players were, kind of going, let's see what happens, right? Because Zoom went from probably the fifth most recognizable or most used kind of business communication software to like number one, like that.
Because almost overnight.
It was anybody who wasn't already invested in Microsoft Teams or maybe like one other.
Cisco
Zoom,
WebEx is probably the bigger one.
Easy.
Yeah.
Google Meet too.
Yeah, GoToMe. Yeah, but and like you're saying, that those were established corporate entities that have been operating for years, and they really didn't have a need or a reason to go to the lower common denominator, which was the people who were looking for something free to use with their friends or this or that. And Zoom just happened to be in the right place and say, hey, you can use this for free, and then you can buy a subscription to Advance and stuff like that. And they were the right place at the right time, and it just exploded for them. So,
and StreamYard did exactly the same thing. StreamYard, they were just a little operation. They were just like two guys putting their kind of hobby resources into making StreamYard, and COVID hit, and it was just like boom, and now they're like the one we all use because they just made it so dang easy.
Here we all are.
Exactly.
So do we think the YouTube field of, we talked about, are we going to continue this channel when things get more normative and everything? And we're like, yes, we will. Would we back down a show? Maybe, because the original plan was to do Thursdays all the time, and then Mondays when we feel like it. Well, we've just always done Mondays, and there's enough folks here to. If I can't be here or Mark can't be here, we can make the show fly without it and everything. So we've made Mondays a regular thing. But will we go back down when things get normal? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I still like hanging around my friends on the internet, so that's cool. I mean, we live in Georgia. I mean, Mark and me and Dana and Matt, we live in the same state, but we don't go to each other's house because we live Atlanta is in between us all. That's another hour and a half of driving. So might as well just talk on this. So, but yeah, we'll keep it going. I'm pretty sure. But do you think the YouTube will shrink? YouTube community of live streaming, or any of y'all think that will that shrink back a little bit, or will it continue to go?
I think it'll shrink back a bit, but just because people can do meetings, like I would think maybe weekend streams might slow down because that's when people can actually get out and meet with others, right?
I agree with Jeff. There's going to be a slowdown of shows available because people will start to go back to what they consider normal, going over to the friend's house or going over to relatives or taking vacations that they actually are doing, or they have to go back into work and actually do work at work. And therefore they're like, I've already done all this stuff. I don't want to do that. I just want to come home and veg in front of the couch.
I think there's also an element of like any time you have people starting up a new YouTube channel or starting up a new whatever, starting up a new business, starting up a website. But in this case, we're talking starting up a new YouTube channel. Some percentage of those people are going to be in it for the long haul. Some percentage of those people are going to burn out very quickly. And then, some percentage of those people are somewhere in the middle. And so I do, I think we've also seen a little bit of like, a year ago, between like a year and 9 months ago, I think we saw a lot of the people who were ready to jump on it, jumped on and created their thing. And I think in the last 6 months, we've seen a lot of people who watched those people between 9 months and a year ago go like, oh, okay, cool. And they've kind of been part of those communities. And then they think they've watched it for a little while. And now they're going, well, maybe I want to do that too. So I think there was sort of a second wave of like more people trying to do it. And I think both of those groups are going to have a certain number of people that, get a year into it and go like, okay, a year in, this is not, meeting the expectations that I had for it. So I'm out. Or a year in, like, hey, this has been great. It has served exactly the purpose we wanted it to serve. Or it has, far surpassed our expectations. So they're going to keep going. And
it's funny you say that because I know the four of us, we talk on Saturdays offline from everybody else and just have our own, which was the precursor to Old Gray Bricks, was basically us having our peach lug chat, and only the four of us were showing up. And so, we'd chit chat and we'd do our thing. And, we joked about the fact that, oh, hey, we should do this live. I'm sure some people would watch and, find it humorous or entertaining and whatnot. And we've talked about, do we want to up this? Do we want to push it? Do we want to, try to make something more of it than it is? And collectively we all went, yeah, we like what we're doing. And it works. And if we get 10 people who watch us, we love all those 10 people. And if we get 2 people who come and watch us, we love those 2 people. So for us, we're just going to probably want to keep doing this because we do live an hour away from each other. And it's easy for us to hop on. And the fact that we get you from the West Coast and we get the guys from Canada, I have a feeling that we'll continue to do this. And we're, if people stop watching, we'll probably still keep doing it just because it's a way for us to connect and hang out.
Yeah. One of the points that I've read from economists is that oftentimes when the economy goes through some kind of recession, that rather than change trends, it intensifies trends that were already present. So to me, this is just an interesting question. I'm I'm being an academic here. Is the whole YouTube thing,
he put on his professor hat?
Is the whole YouTube thing going to reverse, or is it in fact going to intensify, and people are going to keep doing the audio visual meetups for like, you know, I was doing a regular chat with my parents who live in Denver, and I never did that before COVID. But, you know, I only see them once or twice a year. But now that my 70-year-old mom knows that she can video conference, you know, she can call my dad and say, you need to turn on the computer.
Do they really have that accent? I want to know. Do they have that?
No, not really.
That's disappointing.
But I mean, so it is interesting I'm curious to see what's going to happen as people go back to normal. Will there be a larger audience for these kinds of things than there were before that still sticks around? So an intensification, or is it that everyone's going to get busy and, you know, attendance drops off? I mean, I don't know. I could see either scenario playing out. So I'm just curious to see what happens.
I think it depends a little on, you know, I think once we're in the spring, we're going to get into the summer, more and more people are getting vaccinated. I can see a lot of people being like, I want to go out and see my friends in person, and I'll still do a bit of this, but I want to go out and go out to bars and go out to barbecues and maybe hang out inside of people's houses if I feel okay with that. But then once winter comes around, I could see some of this coming back once people get that sort of in-person socializing out of their system.
Okay, can I just say, I am old and I am pasty and I am white. I really haven't changed my pattern of behavior very much through the pandemic.
Well, and you know, that's something at our house. You know, my spouse is disabled. We don't go out a ton. So one of the things that people would, you know, check in on us during COVID, and they were like, "Are you guys doing okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, the rest of y'all are just acting like we already lived." I mean, I already stayed home a ton. I mean, I play hockey. And I used to go to work, and I haven't gone to work for you know, to the office for a year. That'll come back. I'll go back to playing hockey once a week, but it wasn't like I was out there being a huge social butterfly. I was home already. So, you know.
Yeah, pre-COVID, I was working from home 95% for probably the year and a half before COVID. So, you know, I had one of my good friends from Colorado. He's like, "How are you doing working from home?" I'm like, "Dude, it's Tuesday." It's no big deal.
I used to work from home for almost 2 years. Then they decided I needed to actually be on site to handle things that were there. And so working from home was not a big deal for me. I mean, I had 2 years of that working for Boeing for the longest, seemed like the longest time. It was a golden age of time where I could just, you know, work in my pajamas, really, or short. You know,
TMI.
We appreciate you got bottoms on today. Anyway, you know, somebody described it this way. Finally, I mean, and I'm naturally introverted, and I can be extroverted when I have to be. But you know, when you go to, as an introvert, you go to a party and somebody's trying to drag you out of being an introvert into an extrovert. Now you know how it feels, extroverts, to be shoved into our world and being forced into it. And that's how it feels. So stop bugging us. We're okay.
You've heard me go on my rant about the fact that the extroverts are not being coddled like the introverts have been coddled for years. And it really hurts. I'm just telling you that now. But, you know, so I had a thought, and I wanted to share this.
Sure.
That because we all grew up on the water cooler TV nights. I mean, must see TV Thursdays and stuff like that, and that is all gone. It's now, you know, when Netflix or Amazon releases a new series, we get it all at once. You know, Disney Plus is trying to keep us by giving us an episode every week for some of the Disney shows. And
Amazon's
stuff like that.
doing that too. Like Amazon's slow rolling stuff too.
Yep, you're right. Absolutely, they are starting to do that. But I kind of feel like shows like this have kind of taken over that need to be at a specific time in a specific place. Because granted, you can watch this later, but if you want to interact and you want to be in the peanut gallery and making comments, you want to be on when it's going on. So it's kind of like that the new water cooler thing. I mean, in a way, I mean, it's not the same thing as must see TV, but
well, it's funny because
I'm just saying.
it's funny because they used to talk about live sports as the one TV thing that people would sit down and watch. But I've gotten back into watching the Detroit Red Wings. But if they have a game on one of our nights, I just wait till after our show is over, and then I speed through all the commercials and I watch the whole game in 2 hours. And so even live television, I can put that on hold to meet with my pals, my Lego pals, and chat. And I'll hang out with my Lego pals before I go watch the hockey game.
I corner my wife at the fridge and make her listen to me read.
Seth, the funny thing is, Boone, you may not know this. Seth was in my youth group like 20 years ago. I was the youth pastor, and he was in my youth group, and so was his wife. So I know them. He's probably going, I can't believe Pastor Chris said that.
But Matthew, you're absolutely right. I mean, because it's the interaction that we're having that makes us come do this. And I think that's the same thing. Like, you know, when I get a pop-up that says, hey, Boone's live, and I'll drop in, say, hey, see what's going on. You know, it's that interaction that we're craving. And I think that'll still continue even afterwards, after the pandemic.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. That's the whole thing that, like, so I learned a lot when I was on Boone's show, and I learned a lot when I hang out with Brian. And that's that, you know, you can drone on about a subject all you want. You can talk about whatever. Like, I want to talk about pink belly issues, you know, and you can be talking about that till the cows come home. But if you interact with the people, they're going to start commenting on what kind of ballerina shoes they prefer. So that interaction is important. And whether or not the subject is relevant or not, I mean, we just droned on about economics and futures of YouTubes and everything else for a good 30 minutes. I got frustrated and threw Lego. Don't know if anybody saw that. Because I can't get the damn thing to work. So, you know, but it's that too, because we have to have that interaction. Like there's a bunch of folks here, and it's awesome. And like, yeah, that's where we're at.
Well, I can just case in point. I mean, it is the community, the interaction, the banter. There was, when I was in North Carolina for 4 years, driving back and forth to classes about an hour, I would listen to this. I mean, I hated the music because it was not my style of music, but I was more than entertained by the DJs who would just banter with each other and bust on each other and tell stories and blah, blah, blah. That's what I was there for, that sense of, you know, community friendship and, you know, how they'd laugh and crack on each other and stuff. And so, yeah, that's what I crave in watching something like this. So, yeah, I mean, I get it.
Seth said, I'm thinking of pulling my kid out of school and letting these streams educate her.
Well, look, if you think about it, like, if the pandemic never happened, or if whatever didn't ever happen, or who cares? I wouldn't have met most of you. I mean, and I'm super relieved for it because I needed that interaction. You know, I kept on bugging Boone all the time, and eventually he was just like, yeah, I'm out here, leave me a message. But it's fine. It's fine. I didn't want to talk to him anyway. It's all good. I remember I gave him a panicked message about something somebody said once, and I was like, wow, I'm stupid. Cool. And like afterwards, Boone was like, no, buddy, it's this. And I was like, I knew that. I wasn't panicking for no reason. It's fine. It's fine. We're all fine. How are you? And like that interaction grew because then I found out about Beyond the Bricks Quarantine Cast. You know, Brian and I became closer friends, I guess. And then, you know, they were like, hey, do you want to be on the 24-hour stream? No, not really, but I'll be there for 13 of it. And then, you know, the new year happened, and they're like, yeah, we need somebody to liven it up a bit. Yeah, okay, because it's sure as hell not going to be Kirk. God bless him. I love Kirk to death. We all know him.
Kirk says like 3 words, and then he's kind of done. He builds. He's a great guy. Great guy.
Oh, yeah.
I really like Chris's analogy that this is more like hanging out on Saturday night or Friday night at LegoCon. And, you know, having a few beverages, adult beverages, and chit-chatting with people. And I can't wait to see all of you guys that can come back to Brick Bear and all the people who are watching us to come on in for Brick Bear and do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to going to Brick Radio at the end of July. just simply because I'm going to get a sign that says tons of fun, put up behind me, and then display my mocks and be like, that's who I am. And if Julian can come too, then those people will have a moment they will never forget.
As they scream and run away.
I mean, obviously, I already knew the Atlanta folks here, but I know people in Canada, and I'd like to go to and hang out with Jeff and with Greg. Greg and I sometimes we message on Instagram. I wouldn't have known who. And on Instagram, most of the time Greg's posting his photography, which isn't most of the time it's not Lego. But now I chat with him. I'll send him messages, and like I never would have made that friendship. I never would have probably even found him on Instagram if it hadn't been for the show. And the same thing with you DC folks, Magnus and John Denver. Hopefully we'll meet him.
Yeah, formerly from DC.
Formerly.
Yeah. The artist formerly of the district.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing that I like too is that Greg's been on Tons of Fun, a couple of episodes, and I was very fortunate that I met him through you guys, and like I want to drink Molson's with Greg and have a good time, like that's where I'm at, or maybe just Cokes, but whatever, it's amazing how many great people I've met through other people over the last year and a half, and I'm eternally thankful for it. Otherwise, I would have gone crazy this year.
Well, and I'll say that, and we're going to want to land the plane here in just a second. But I will say that technology-wise, Mark and I met, 22, 23 years ago through the internet, and that was through forums and typing and stuff like that. We've been friends ever since, right? Yeah. Now, even though he lives in Atlanta and we're an hour and a half from each other because of Atlanta, we get more interaction now being able to use this technology, which is fairly recent technology and easy to use technology, so that it improves and helps our friendship even more. And now I have that friendship with y'all. And even though we used to only see each other at conventions, I've only seen Gil in person once at a convention, but he's still an amazing friend. Now that we have this technology and the ability to connect this way all the time, it's super, super important to keep it going. Just because, it is that conversation that we have at a convention, but it's also hanging out like with, sitting around listening to your uncles spin stories and tell stories, when you visiting your grandma and they be talking about, running the deer and turning down by the skunk's dead and all that stuff. It's great. We got to have it, and it's great. Boone, it looks like you're waving. Heading out. You headed out, Boone.
Oh, I was waving at Holly. She said, "Quitting time, mocks to make. Got to go. Happy building, y'all."
Good.
It probably is time for me to go too.
Yeah. Well, we're about to head out ourselves. But what I wanted to say is I appreciate you guys coming in and wanting to hang out with us and have this conversation, because it is that conversation we all need, we all have, and you can have it without a shower and smell weird, and you won't be getting any complaints and all that kind of stuff, which is great.
You'll be that guy at the con.
That's right. You get walk down in here going, why does your basement smell? Anyway, so hey guys, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Do me a favor, do everybody a favor, be nice, wear your mask when you need to, get your shots, and for crying out loud, be kind to someone. Have a great night. Be awesome. Bye everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Hello.